May 2025 opens a quiet yet profound journey for Gemini. This is not a month of rapid progress or resounding victories. Instead, the universe is preparing you for a phase of inner refinement, a time to reassess your beliefs and clear out old burdens in order to make room for a new chapter that will truly begin in June. Pluto, the planet of power and deep transformation, begins its retrograde in Aquarius on May 3rd, directly influencing Gemini's zone of thought, worldview, and how you perceive life on a broader scale. The things you once felt sure about, the plans that once seemed solid, may now be quietly challenged. Meanwhile, throughout most of May, the Sun remains in Taurus, asking you to work quietly behind the scenes, finish what's unresolved, and heal lingering issues before Gemini season arrives. And when the Sun and Venus both enter Gemini around the end of the month, between May 20th and 25th, a new stream of energy will begin to flow in, awakening your confidence, communication skills, and exciting new opportunities. Many may not be a smooth ride for Gemini, but it's not a dead end either. Small, subtle changes are unfolding, gently guiding you into a new journey, one that demands patience and the sensitivity to recognize what's shifting within and around you. To truly understand these undercurrents, let's take a closer look at the astrological events shaping this month and listen closely to how your life may begin to change in response. The retrograde of Pluto in Aquarius beginning on May 3rd will open up an inner journey full of challenges for Gemini, one in which old beliefs are questioned and core values begin to shift. Starting May 3rd, Pluto, the planet that symbolizes profound, hidden transformations, enters its retrograde phase in Aquarius. For Gemini, this marks a time when you may start feeling uncertain about things you once wholeheartedly pursued. You might suddenly lose enthusiasm for a study abroad plan, a long-term career goal, or a community that once held your deepest dedication. Relationships you once considered your people might start to feel distant, no longer vibrating on the same frequency. This month, it wouldn't be surprising if you declined a familiar group meeting or avoided discussions because you no longer feel heard. Some may quietly leave a long-time circle of friends or cancel a long-anticipated plan simply because it no longer feels meaningful. These changes won't be loud or dramatic, but they will be significant enough for you to realize that you've entered a new chapter of growth, a journey where you must begin to redefine yourself from your mindset to your way of living. Pluto doesn't force you to change overnight. Instead, it subtly places you in situations that compel you to face reality, what still resonates with your truth, and what is merely habit maintained for too long. This is the beginning of a purification process, not to destroy everything, but to keep what still holds real meaning for the person you're gradually becoming. May 2025 marks the phase when Jupiter is preparing to leave Taurus, bringing Gemini the sense that every responsibility, lingering debt, or unfinished task is suddenly resurfacing, demanding closure. Throughout May, Jupiter, the planet of expansion and fortune, remains in its final days in Taurus, positioned just behind Gemini on the zodiac wheel. It feels like a behind-the-scenes cleanup before a new door is about to open. And, as is often the case, the closer you get to a transition, the more the unresolved parts of the past show up all at once. This month, you might feel weighed down by everything left undone, a promise not yet fulfilled, a financial obligation that needs handling, or a project once shelved that can no longer be postponed. Old commitments, family duties, or the things you told yourself you'd deal with later may all return at the same time, leaving you feeling as though you're walking through mud. The more you try to rush forward, the more exhausted you become. In reality, many Geminis will need to face the conclusion of an ambiguous relationship, clean up old plans, or take responsibility for past choices. This is not a month to begin something new. It's a month to fully wrap up what remains unfinished. And even though it might feel stifling at times, understand that the universe is helping you settle your dues, so you'll no longer be held back when major opportunities arrive in June. Jupiter's lesson is crystal clear right now. To move forward, you must release what no longer serves. See May as a full energetic cleanse, not as punishment, but as preparation for a brighter and lighter chapter ahead. You can't carry all the old burdens if you truly want to soar on new wings. When the Sun and Venus move into Gemini between May 20th and 25th, a new phase begins, one that brings a powerful awakening of self-awareness and personal direction. Starting on May 20th, as the Sun begins its transit into Gemini, followed by Venus on May 23rd, you'll start to feel a noticeable shift in the atmosphere around you. The quiet fatigue of the previous week seems to lift, giving way to a sense of lightness, freshness, and ease. This is when your energy begins to recover, your confidence returns, and conversations begin to flow more naturally and effortlessly. You may feel the urge to re-engage with the world after a period of withdrawal. Others will likely notice your renewed charm, the quick wit in your words, and the gentle intelligence that you radiate without trying. Whether it's in work meetings, casual conversations, romantic encounters, or creative collaborations, you're more likely to leave a strong impression. Some Geminis may unexpectedly receive invitations to collaborate, job interviews, love confessions, or the chance to launch a long-awaited personal project. However, because the energy is still in transition, don't rush to grab everything at once. What's new may seem incredibly exciting, but not everything is meant to be kept. Take a moment to observe, listen to your true feelings, and only pursue what genuinely makes you feel alive and authentic. That's the opportunity truly meant for you. What's happening in the sky is, in truth, just a mirror reflecting the shifts occurring within you. So, let's dive into each specific area to understand how May may touch different corners of your life and heart, Gemini. May 2025 will turn Gemini's love life into a true test of trust, empathy, and the ability to grow alongside the one you love. With Pluto retrograding in Aquarius and at the same time the Sun and Venus shifting from Taurus into Gemini, this month becomes a fiery trial for your relationships. If you're in a serious commitment, differences in life perspectives, ideals, or future goals may suddenly move into the spotlight. You might say one thing, but your partner interprets it another way. Not because there's no love, but because both of you are stepping into separate journeys of personal growth. The influence of Venus entering Gemini on May 23rd will make you more sensitive to words, with a stronger desire to be heard and understood. If you're not careful, minor miscommunications could stretch the emotional distance between you and your partner. However, if both of you become aware of this dynamic and learn to listen more than react, this can actually become an opportunity to build a deeper, more authentic bond. For those Geminis who are single, this isn't the month to find someone at all costs, but rather the time to reflect on what's been blocking true connection. Old wounds may surface when someone reminds you of a past relationship. Yet these memories are not here to drag you back. They're here to clarify what you truly need in a future companion. Toward the end of the month, Venus's energy will open the door to spontaneous yet inspiring conversations. A few new connections may appear through social media, work environments, or hobby groups. Even so, the astrology of this month advises you not to rush into labeling a relationship simply because of fleeting emotions. Let your feelings unfold naturally, and choose based on truth rather than expectation. May 2025 will turn Gemini's work environment into a quiet stage, where patience and personal resilience are tested day by day. The influence of Pluto retrograde and Jupiter preparing to shift signs may cause Gemini's work life in May to slip into a state of hidden stagnation or subtle deadlock. You might feel as if you're trying extremely hard, taking on more responsibilities, completing tasks, yet receiving less recognition from your surroundings than you had hoped for. Unfinished projects, unresolved commitments, and long postponed plans now simultaneously demand to be completed. This accumulation can leave you feeling weighed down, lost, or even questioning the career path you've chosen. However, this is not a sign for you to impulsively quit your job or make a sudden 180-degree turn. The universe is placing you into a silent test. Do you have the endurance to walk the path you've chosen, or will you collapse at the first real pressure? Some Geminis may seriously start considering a career change, learning new skills, or redefining their professional direction toward greater flexibility. After May 20th, as the Sun and Venus both move into Gemini, your spirit will begin to lighten. This marks an ideal time to finally launch the personal ideas you've been nurturing for a long time. Still, make sure you've cleared the old commitments before stepping into this new phase, because if your foundation isn't stable, no matter how far your ideas might soar, it will be hard to maintain lasting success. Emotional control will be the key for Gemini to protect their wallet and maintain financial stability throughout May. In May 2025, Gemini's financial situation shows signs of slight volatility. It's not that you're earning less, but rather that unexpected expenses keep showing up one after another. From family and health needs to unavoidable issues like car repairs, home appliances, or additional costs that weren't part of your original budget. In the midst of all this, Gemini's fast-moving energy makes it easy to act on impulse instead of carefully thinking things through. At the same time, opportunities for investment, financial partnerships, or property transactions might appear out of the blue, leaving you confused about whether to jump in or wait a little longer. If you're involved in joint ventures, financial contracts, or money agreements, this is a time when you must pay very close attention to the fine print. A small oversight or a vague verbal promise could easily lead to misunderstandings or unwanted losses. This month, the golden rule for Gemini finances is simple. Hold tight to what you already have. Take time to strengthen your savings, review existing agreements, and avoid spending on anything that isn't absolutely necessary. There will be more opportunities ahead, especially from June onward, when everything becomes clearer and easier to navigate. By then, with a strong foundation laid in May, you'll be able to move toward bigger financial prospects without the risk of falling into hidden traps along the way. Listening to the quiet warnings from your mind will be a vital key for Gemini to protect their health this May. In May 2025, under the subtle influence of Pluto retrograde and the mounting pressure of unfinished tasks, Gemini's mental well-being may be slowly worn down, often without you realizing it at first. Outwardly, you may still be functioning normally, working, talking, going about your day, but internally, your energy may be leaking steadily. Trouble sleeping, mood swings, or a vague sense of fatigue may arise if you continue pushing yourself too hard within life's relentless pace. This is not the time to force yourself to always be strong or cheerful. Allow yourself to slow down. Sometimes just 10-15 minutes of walking alone, a few minutes of light meditation before bed, or simply turning off your phone, sitting still and breathing deeply is enough to start recharging your depleted energy. This month, the key doesn't lie in doing more, but in knowing when to pause. The sooner you listen to your body, the better you'll be at avoiding the kind of stress that silently builds into more serious health problems later on. Lasting recovery always begins with small, honest actions like these. Week 1. From May 1st to May 7th, Gemini will experience quietly turbulent days where doubts about your beliefs and life goals begin to surface in your mind. Right from the start of the month, Pluto begins its retrograde phase in Aquarius, the area of Gemini's chart that governs higher thought and worldview. You'll start to feel subtle undercurrents stirring within, a gentle questioning of the goals and values you once held with deep conviction. Intellectual relationships and communities that once felt aligned may now begin to show small cracks as you realize that not everyone is walking the same path anymore. This is a week for you to listen to those quiet uncertainties, not to act impulsively, but to understand that you've entered a new phase of maturity and growth. Week 2. From May 8th to May 14th, Work, pressure, and unfinished responsibilities will weigh heavily on Gemini, creating a sense of being stuck and urging you to reflect on how you're managing your life. As the second week begins, the energy from Taurus and Mercury continues to intensify the pressure in both your work and everyday life. Old tasks and unresolved commitments will keep resurfacing, as if the universe is pushing you to finally clean up the lingering remains of the past. Gemini may feel caught between heavy obligations and a deep desire to break free and start something new. Emotions can easily become tense or irritable if you don't find a way to release the built-up pressure in a healthy manner. This is a week that demands patience and a strong ability to reorganize your priorities, so you can regain a sense of direction and clarity. Week 3. From May 15th to May 21st, Gemini will face sudden financial fluctuations and communication challenges, requiring you to stay flexible and calm in the face of change. By the third week, the opposition between Taurus and Gemini begins to show itself clearly, especially in matters of money and social relationships. Unexpected expenses related to family, health, or personal property may leave you feeling out of control when it comes to financial management. At the same time, the flow of communication becomes more chaotic, making you prone to minor misunderstandings that can create unnecessary trouble in both work and personal life. Instead of trying to control everything, this week calls on you to remain adaptable, accept small changes as they come, and focus your energy on protecting what truly matters. Week 4. Starting from May 22nd, as the Sun and Venus move into Gemini, a fresh wave of energy will be released, helping you rediscover your confidence, inspiration, and new opportunities after a stretch of trials. When the Sun enters your sign on May 20th, followed by Venus on May 23rd, you'll clearly feel the difference. A lighter mood, smoother communication, and small opportunities beginning to sparkle around you. This is a beautiful time to step out of your comfort zone, reconnect with the world, and explore ideas or personal projects you've been quietly nurturing for a while. However, remember this: don't rush to grab everything all at once. Be selective, tune in to yourself. Only follow the opportunities that genuinely make you feel like you're living in alignment with who you truly are. May 2025 is not a sprint for Gemini. It's a quiet journey of self-reflection. Since Pluto began its retrograde, you've likely felt your old values starting to shake, while unfinished commitments are calling for closure. This is a month where maturity doesn't come from rushing into action, but from being honest with the changes unfolding within you. You may need to close a relationship, revise a plan, or simply admit that you're no longer the person you once were, and that is perfectly okay. By the end of the month, as the Sun and Venus enter Gemini, light begins to return. New opportunities will emerge, but only for those who dared to walk through the silence and let go of what no longer fits. If you can be patient enough to move slowly through May, June will greet you with doors more radiant than ever before. Thank you for walking with me through Gemini's May forecast. If there's a zodiac sign you'd love to hear about next, drop it in the comments. And don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a message. I'm always here with you.